Hello friends, I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you doing today? How is life in your world? How are things where you are? Please let me know. Love hearing from you. Love everything everything that you share here. It means a lot to me. So thank you for that. Thank you for the people who have been responding to some stuff that I've asked on Facebook and Twitter, and thank you to the people who have been reading the blog and sending me encouraging remarks. we'll call it that. I've had some criticism and justified. I will never tell somebody that their criticism is not justified. The thing is, perspective is well, it's a very personal thing, right? And so I have a perspective of the way that I approach the things that I do, and that comes across when I write about it, obviously, because, I'm probably writing it for a reason, and often the experiences that I've had in life interfere with, or I don't want to say differ from the experiences of others, and that has molded the way that I do things. Software is no different than any other art form. It is an art form, in my opinion. It is writing, like writing a book, and there are hundreds of different languages you could write in, and even within those languages, there's typically dozens of different ways to do a thing. And my approach to the way that I write software was molded over many, 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 many years of me teaching myself how to write software. And the people who tend to criticize that method or the way that I do it are people that have been taught differently. I usually find that it is college-educated developers who will say, no, you're doing it wrong, it's this, or like extremely corporate developers. Usually freelance developers and people like myself who are self-taught, working on smaller teams, I find are a little more open to kind of free-form programming, and I would say that's generally the category that I fall into. If you are a developer and you look at my code, it's very readable. It's very indented properly. I had very few comments, but generally you don't really need comments to follow my code. It does this, 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 and this. And I like it that way. And one of the paradigms that I've set in my world of designing software is that it has to be easy to use or nobody will use it. It's just that simple, I like to make it as user-friendly as possible, sometimes to a fault, and I'll accept that. And oftentimes my code is written that way. I will duplicate significant portions of code. There's always things that can be trimmed. There's always fat that can be taken out of my code. And I will sometimes duplicate not large portions, but significant amount of it, just because it's easier to understand as you're reading through it. And a few lines here and there really aren't going to make a difference. Now, I'm not duplicating entire functions and just renaming them or anything like that. But, I do a significant amount of reworking, I think. Yeah. So anyway, the point is, I appreciate everybody who has commented either here on the channel or in private over the last few days, and have really shown a lot of interest in what I'm doing, because it really does make a huge difference to know that somebody's paying attention. Today's a work from home day. That's why I haven't changed yet. Today's a work from home day, and I got a message from a coworker today about my software, and he's one of our systems guys, so he builds servers and maintains all of our hardware and that sort of stuff. And I gave him access to the online version last week or a week before last. He wanted to see what I was working on, so I gave it to him, let him have it. And I guess he's been checking in on it. So he checked in on it today, and he noticed that I added tasks. So now that you have projects, you can go into a project, and under projects you have tasks, and you can add tasks. And he noticed that you can make tasks now, but you can't do anything with them. And that was just because I had worked on some other code that I wanted to upload, and so when I went to upload, I wasn't quite sure what was what, so I just said screw it and let it all go. And that's like, obviously, if this was a production app and people were using it, other than the 2 people that currently have access to it, I wouldn't do stuff like that. But in this particular situation, I was like, nobody's using it, so I'm just going to go ahead and upload everything, and then I'll fix it later. And then he saw it, and he sent me this screenshot of this error message, and he's like, what is this? And I'm like, oh, you found the new thing that I haven't actually fully implemented yet. I was just uploading code today, so I just dumped it. And so that was cool, because it was cool to know that he's actually checking up on it and seeing it, and he's enjoying the progress, and he's giving me feedback. He's like the very first alpha tester. So that's been good, and I'm looking forward to getting it to the point where I can ask you to check it out and tell me what you think, and that's coming very soon. Maybe before the end of the week. I said by the end of the weekend. It might happen sooner. I've been only putting like an hour or 2 into it a night, but it's been like a really intense hour or 2. It's been like the code has just been like, I know what I have to do. Bam, 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 it's done. So it's been good. And I've probably only got a few more hours left before I could say, hey, go ahead and sign up and tell me what you think. Once the tasks are editable and viewable, I will need to start working on updates. But I think before I do that, I'm going to get the login stuff working. Right now, registration doesn't do anything. When you register, that's it. But very soon, you'll be able to self-register. So normally the way it works is you register, it sends you an email, you have to follow the link in the email, and once you've done that, it verifies your account, and then you can log in. Currently, I have that part shut off, just so if anybody does register, they can't just get in, because the site might be broken, so I'd have to manually approve you. But very soon, you'll be able to sign up. It'll do all that for you, and then I already fixed the self-service for your passwords. That works now and stuff like that, so I just need to redo the code. And then you could sign up. And then once I've got people using that much, the projects and the tasks, I'll start adding updates, and we'll see what happens soon. So that's all I have for today. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being my bestest friends, coming back and checking up on me. It really means a lot to me. I'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, Doc, wait! I want to ask you something.
Today's random fact comes from Wikipedia. What makes a cat purr? The hypothesis, backed by electromyographic studies, is that a cats produce the purring noise by using the vocal folds and/or the muscles of the larynx to alternately dilate and constrict the glottis rapidly, causing air vibrations during inhalation and exhalation. Fun fact, I can purr.